First of all, I want to thank the Christian Association of Nigerian Leadership for giving me this wonderful opportunity to speak to you. Very short notice. You have agreed. I want to believe, and strongly too, that because we're brothers in Christ, whatever that is going on in the polity, you believe I will give you a very, very correct assessment. I will give you what I believe is direct, what I believe is what is really at stake. The role of the church in the affairs of nation is timeless. Even in those days in the past, church and state had cooperated in ensuring the success of the state. As a young man learning history, particularly church history, that both leaders, religious and political, always came together to work for a common purpose. You pray for the political leaders, the kings, they went to war, they succeeded, they came back, and they also showed appreciation. Building fantastic places of worship for the church. In recent times, the history, the situation is not different. We collaborate in providing facilities for people, whether they're educational, their health, their agricultural. We do that. We combine. You establish schools. Government decided to pay capitation fee. Eventually the schools were taken over. But the lesson had always been clear. And these schools were built by the missionaries. Most Nigerians who are today in position of trust went to missionary schools. In the case, I also, where I went to TNA primary school, government said, but HSC, the high school certificate program I did at where? A missionary school, St. Louis Secondary School in Jos. Cardinal went to St. Michael's at Aliyah. There are many in the Anglican community, Methodists, Baptists, and others that went through these institutions created by the missionaries. So there is this symbiotic relationship that can never be broken. Today, by the grace of God, we have a big country, rich mineral resources, blessed with uncommon human resources. This country is one of the most blessed in the whole world. And therefore, working together with you, the sky is the limit. Yes, mistakes have been made in the past, but no system is perfect. We learn from mistakes. We started as a parliamentary democracy at independence. And when that system collapsed in 1966, the takeover of the military, our leaders decided that we should try a new system. According to them, given our diversity, the size of the country, the population of the country, the structural complexity of the country, over 500 tribes, ethnic groups, different religious affiliations, whether they are Christian, Muslim, traditional. So it was felt that a presidential system with a very strong center could hold us together, because during the First Republic, every region had a lot of autonomy. We ended up under Murtala Obasanjo, the presidential system, to hold us together. It was done in good faith. I want to say, in good faith. Hiccups here and there, but since 1999, when this country returned to presidential democracy, it's about 25 years, we've never had military intervention. We applaud the leadership, political leadership, and the leadership of the military. Under a presidential democracy, center is strong. Yes, to hold us together. But today, I'm not here to canvass that. I'm here to brief you on what is going on. The bottom line is, under a democracy, you go to bed without midnight knock. Under the military, you say something they didn't like, bam, picked. Daddy, mommy, you are gone. Not under democracy. That is why you can't have that under this administration. You are aware of what is going on today in the politics. Last year, Labour won strike. They won some concessions. The minimum wage was legislated in 2019. It placed the minimum wage at 30,000 naira. The issue, minimum wage salary, is an exclusive issue. Constitution. It is not on the concurrent list, it's on the exclusive legislative list. That is why it is the federal government working in tandem with organized private sector, labor, and come up with a recommendation to the president for the attention of the National Assembly. That tripartite committee was approved by the president, and it has been working. Before that, so many things have been put in place. I want you to take your mind a little bit back. I speak as a statesman. You know, when we came in, it wasn't easy. I'm explaining this to you as leaders, religious leaders, because you value the truth, because you have people who listen to you. And if you have the truth, the people will also know the truth. We took over in a very turbulent weather. Foreign reserves were zero. So many things, and that was what there were massive reforms carried out by the president. One of them, which appeared to be a little bit tough for people to understand, is subsidy removal on fuel. There is this Nigerian who is the president of Afrexim Bank. This president is professor of economics, one of the best, one of the most respected in the world. We had dinner in my house, had a small team. He told me that was the best decision that President Bola Tinubu took in the oil industry. He said, we were exporting crude oil, but we were not able to pay for the import of petroleum products to Nigeria for use by our country. What kind of business is that? It was at that stage that government approached Afrexim Bank. They had their headquarters in Egypt. And then they now decided to support Nigeria to be able to pay for importation of petroleum products, supporting in terms of credit. And as he was talking to me, we were not able to pay them 2.5 billion part of credit. But he said they have decided to shift it forward by 9 years, and they will only give us a credit of 2.5 billion. So many things went wrong. That is why when people just shout, you need to know the actual truth. And who are the people benefiting from this so-called subsidy payments? That thing became big and uncontrollable. Like an Indian buffalo. Anyway, Kanu quickly decided to begin to put in place palliatives. We're all Nigerians. 35,000 wage award for workers, which means 30 minimum, then 35 on top of that. And when I knew that price of rice and this started rising, transportation, they did what? They started pushing money to states and releasing drains from strategic reserves. By anything, the Nigerians tried to kill it, but in many states it's worked. 100 billion naira for the procurement of CNG fuel buses and CGN conversion kits. This is going on in some of the states, many of the states. CNG buses compressed natural gas. They are cheaper. Something was done, an experiment from Abuja to Ibadan. CNG fuel bus, vehicle, and then petrol. 60% difference when they got to Ibadan. The man could still come back to address CNG. The other man couldn't. So this is being pursued vigorously. That's why they're changing, they're doing conversion kits. That's the difference. We will soon be there. He commissioned CNG plants. 3, 4. The last one I think was commissioned by President of the Senate. You are going to see the difference. We're now continuing for, and transportation was beginning to go down. Food prices will begin to go down. I'm from Benue, I'm a rural boy. I was born in the village in one, it's a small place. By the time I was born, I don't think that we have to fight zinc houses. They called them zinc houses in those days. I feel it when people, I also feel it, just like the president himself. So, this is what is being put in place. And there are buses that are coming. In fact, they are there. What I want to do is to give them out. I want to explain this. Rice is coming to be, very soon to be. Whatever. I was with the president last night. It is not that government is not doing it. We are going to be meticulously and scrupulously committed to monitoring, so that these things go to the correct people. When you talk of minimum wage, you are not just referring to what you are talking to. Would you respect the president? If you have a driver, you are going to pay him the amount that is supposed to be minimum wage. That's why when they started with 600, which we moved it into 9.9 trillion, where do we get the money? 4 is going to be 7. When they're not moving, how can you pay? But we're going to bring in rice. We're going to do in the agri sector. You need to see what is happening. Things will begin to go down. When we were students, they would say, "Kulum, kulum, kulum, down, down." It's not that government is not. Government is doing, and that was why when that was. When you talk of tripartite arrangement, it's not just federal government and labor and organized private sector. You are talking about the federal government, the state government, and the local government. Labor will always want people to believe what? That is federal government and labor is not. It is easier to beat us. I'm always afraid of the. But You see, we are all working for a common good to rejuvenate the economy. Working with organized private sector, so everybody didn't accept 60,000. Organized sector agreed. But I said, look, there must be incentives. Anything higher than that, there will be massive restructuring. And when you talk about restructuring, you are referring to what? Rationalization. We don't want rationalization. The president doesn't want that. But he also wants to move small. That's why I gave you this name, that more things are coming, buses, this, and so on, agri-revolution, and so on. If you hear about loans for students, very concessionary rates, most unprecedented, the funds are huge. The youth entrepreneurial fund, huge. Everything this government is doing is people-centered. President feels it. Our people must rise up. They must have something in their pocket. It's not just a question that you say you want 100,000. If you want 100,000 and there is no productivity, and all we're looking at what? Productivity, power sector, this is what we're doing, and so on and so forth. Look, if you just say 100,000, how about? There's no productivity. The man who has children in private school or something, say, okay, if that is the case, because they have increased school fees, private schools have, so a basket of tomato, instead of 20, I will move it to 70 or thereabout. That is inflation. These are the things the government is trying to control. Now, when you go on strike, you give 15 days notice. They did it. But nowhere in the world has labor tampered with the national grid. You don't, it's treason. Treasonable felony is economic sabotage. You don't do that. And normally, when you go on strike, just say yes. Don't go and beat people in the office. People who are in the office, you're beating them, they must go away. It is never done. I have the civil service background. I joined the service after I left the university, rose to become permanent secretary before I ventured into politics. And by the grace of God, I won the election. That is not the way these issues are handled. We've spoken to them. These are some of them willing to listen. So, I thought I should let you know. It is not that we're not working. We are working. And that is why I mentioned 35,000 wage, which is more than the minimum wage. 35,000 wage award. Minimum is what? 30. 100 billion for procurement of CNG fuel buses and CNG conversion kits. 125 billion naira conditional grant and financial inclusion to medium, small enterprises. 150 billion palliatives, loans to states to cushion the effect of fuel subsidy removal. 200 billion naira to support the cultivation of hectares of land, and it's even more now. Free distribution of fertilizer, free distribution of improved seeds, free distribution of herbicides. 75 billion naira to strengthen the manufacturing sector. 1 trillion naira for student loans for higher education, which I mentioned. Release of 42 metric tons, and we're going to grains, and we're going to do more. Purchase of one-way distribution, 60,000 this and so. Recent salary this 25 days, 90% subsidy on head cost for federal civil servant registered on NHIS. Light Rail Commissioner Abuja to relieve transportation costs till the end of the year is free with roads. On that day, from the metro station to the airport. And if you look at the roads, going on very well. From here to, because I come from Beno, let me just start from here to Makodi, they are working on that. From here to Makodi, you can do it in 3 hours. Then from Makodi, they have started the work, they are moving on to go to 9 Mile. And this is like they're going to provide a look like that what they're going to do in the area of power. Of course, we have a lot of civil servants to do the agriculture, which is the law. And that's why when labor works out, whenever we're meeting, we don't care. We care, but we don't take any action. We persuade them to come back. Let us work together for the benefit of our people. And so I believe that those who are laughing, that if you have anything to contribute, instead of laughing. Because sometimes those who laugh have nothing to contribute anyway. But you are serious people, and we're talking something that is serious, not for some people to be laughing. It is serious because it deals with the existential purpose of our country. But I am 70 years. I've been governor for 2 terms, senator for 12 years, 4 years as minority leader, then minister, then SGF. I've seen it. This government means business, they want to move. Let's see what is going on in Abuja. It is our people who at the same time say what? They want to move Abuja to Lagos. People want to create confusion. But look at what is happening in Abuja. Within 1 year, compared it to 8 years, the previous 8 years. If you want to move Abuja, will you be doing this? Some of you are here, you need to see what is going on. I want to appeal to you as leaders. I would have come with hope. Hope is somewhere in a meeting. This is this government that recognizes our diversity. The Chief of Defense Staff is one of you. Lagbaja is one of you, the Chief of Minister. I am one of you. So many. This is also your government. We want to appeal. Melosa, Your Grace, carry this message to your people. Others are talking. The Sultan of Sokoto made some wonderful comments. They are going to make comments in the mosque on Friday, which is tomorrow. It's not just one-sided. I'm speaking to you, Bagudu is speaking to the other side, and so on and so forth. So please, it's not that this country, whether we are Muslim, we are Christian, we are traditionalists, we are all Nigerians. And that's the way the president looks at all of us. Has given us appointments. He believes we can deliver. Let us work in the interest of this country. $100,000. I can't afford to pay my driver $100,000 because they are four. Then how much do I and these other people dependents? And so we came to speak to you, to explain our position, to let you know precisely. Labour started with 600. That moves the wage bill to, that's the federal loan, to 9.9 trillion. Where will we get that money from? Labour said 400, which moves it to 5.something trillion. What do we get? We are saying no. Please, this is what we can afford. And there are housing schemes. By the time, in fact, a lot of the Federal Housing Authority are going around the state collecting land. And they have access to facility that will create housing for a huge number of the Nigerian people. And that is why we feel we should let you know. We're not just sitting by. Even in the area of security, we're not just sitting by. About 3 days ago, when some people moved, they kidnapped 10 people somewhere, and about 9 were immediately recovered. Some of these people were gunned down, some of them were arrested. Only one was missing. They are still after that one. Boko Haram has been reduced to what they have become. They are now kidnapping people. A ragtag kind of contraption. I want to appeal to you, President. We are all partners in progress. Understand this message and disseminate this message. Look, I have told some people at different forums. Take a look at Somalia. Take a look at Libya. Take a look at the Iraq, Afghanistan. Look, let me tell you, given our population, given our own complexity, and given our own different religious, tribal, political persuasions. If there is a problem, Nigeria is going to be a child's play compared to Somalia. We will have too many warlords. We don't want that. We are greater when we are together. We need one another. We need one another. I told, we met somewhere, the governor of the CBN, where we met. He was also supposed to be, he's somewhere now, monitoring this and so on. He's also one of you, governor of CBN. That's why when people say, they are doing this, we're not doing anything. That is, we are not. We are doing everything in Nigeria. It's not anything about religion. You are also adequately represented. I thank you. I thank you, your grace. I thank you, the leaders of I thank all of you, the body of Christ. I thank you, my brothers and sisters. One day, I will talk longer than this. One day, I will host you to a dinner. Because Under that atmosphere, we will talk more. But I want you to go back with this message. You have a fantastic president. It's working for us, for all of us. Number two, watch what labor is doing. If the minimum wage is 30, it's still 30 because it's a creation of the law. And then the president gave them 35. Wage raise is not minimum. So what is the issue? We are moving ahead. We want to arrive at what the president finally told. And then we send to the National Assembly. So please tell them to stop what they are doing. In the interest of the nation, in the interest of the economy, in the interest of the voters, because the organized private sector, if we push us further, we cannot guarantee job security in the private sector. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you.